Here we are live again, and I had forgotten to say a little bit here. So we're talking about the mitzvah on Purim to get drunk, intoxicated, or inebriated until you don't know the difference between the cursed of Haman and the blessed of Mordechai. And so it tells the story of this great Rabbi Rabbah. He was together with his friend, and he became inebriated, intoxicated, and he got so drunk that he slaughtered. He rose up and he slaughtered his friend, and he pleaded for mercy the next day, and the friend became alive again, and he said, let's do it again. The friend said, let's do it again. He said, it's too risky. Not every time a miracle is going to occur like this. So this great rabbi, how you can't believe how can this great rabbi got so drunk that he slaughtered his friend. And this was 2,000 years ago, with these greater generation of past generations of Jews holier than us, and intoxicated through wine, and got drunk. So it says you don't have to get that drunk. You don't have to get that drunk. So you drink a little bit more than you're accustomed to. Drink a little bit more than you usually do. And it says, if you're asleep, you don't know the difference between how blessed is Mordechai and how cursed is Haman. So if you're asleep, you're fulfilling the mitzvah. You fulfills it, because you don't know the difference between the two. And if you enjoy alcohol, if you enjoy drinking alcohol, you're not doing it for the sake of heaven. So your heart isn't in for the sake of heaven. You do it because you like alcohol. It's not good. If you're enjoying the alcohol, then you're not doing the mitzvah, because you should do it for the sake of heaven. So so how do you quell this fear? How do you fulfill the mitzvah of Purim? You eat a good meal, a fatty meal with meat, and you drink till you go to sleep. So it's very difficult. It's almost outrageous. Even if you drank so much, how it's like confusing an elephant with an ant. A stark contrast. How can you become so confused that you confuse this concept of good and evil, the goodness of Mordechai and the evil of Haman. So it's difficult to imagine how you could confuse about the worst evil and the greatest good. And maybe you're mixing up a song, that the song that the Jews would be blessed and the wicked would be cursed. It's okay. It's possible to mix up the words of a song. You get so drunk where you mix up the words of a song, or you're confused about words. But how can you mix up these concepts? Get so drunk, you must be really out of your mind to mix up these concepts of good and evil. So it's more than just mixing up words. You're mixing up these two opposite stark contrast concepts. So what we could talk about is the this thing of ad delo yada ben arur Haman libruch Mordechai. They both have the same gematria, each exact same gematria. The letters added up to the same number. They're identical in numerology. So you get so drunk that the rabbi kills his friend. Don't know how the difference between good and evil. How can you actually kill someone if you don't know the difference between good and evil? You would actually kill someone. So the rabbi got so drunk that he killed his friend. So you're supposed to drink to get joyous. So like you can't speak to a king because you're a little bit tipsy. You enjoy, but you don't lose your mind. You don't want to lose your mind to kill people. So including, so you talk about, should I get drunk to this point? So is it including that step, that last step, that boundary until you don't know, or do you stop before the bad behavior? How do you know whether you get drunk up until that point where just before you have the bad behavior, or including the bad behavior? So it's a very how do we know that boundary? So the rabbi's slaughtering his friend nullifies this mitzvah to get drunk on Purim. So it's canceled. You don't have to get drunk. So we talk about the Mars, the propensity of born under the influence of Mars, the planet Mars. So you have this tendency to bloodshed. You become a moil. You divert it. You become a moil or become a ritual slaughterer. So this tendency. You have a tendency to anger because I was born at that time. But this other rabbi said I was born then, but I don't have this tendency. And Rabbi said you punish people in court. You could speak so strongly to students that they get embarrassed. You have this tendency, but you don't recognize it. But so that was what I left out from the other previous. This is like a PS, like an addendum to the other two videos that I made tonight. But so I talked about why did Esther invite Haman to the party, and when is it okay not to drink on Purim? I talked about that, and anyways, yeah, I just wanted to add that. It's 6 minutes, so it's a short one here, but if you're still listening, you got patience, and thank you for listening, and it's great coming up with these new Kedushim and thinking about it, and experiencing this Torah, and having these discussions, and I hope it maybe a little bit spark some interest in you and spread Hasidus and Torah, and get more people involved in Hasidus and Yiddishkeit, and bringing Mashiach and Geula now. May Mashiach, you discover the Mashiach inside of each and every one of us, come out, Mashiach in you, to be revealed, God's oneness to be revealed in the world, and may you experience this, and Mashiach is here, the redemption is here, and Geula is here, and Baruch Hashem. Okay, thank you very much, and peace. Thank you. Bye-bye. Peace. Shalom.